Acting Captain's Log, July 14th, 2174. I find myself in a position I hadn't foreseen. Not only am I now the commanding officer of the Drake, but I feel Captain Knightley may be dragging the Drake through the proverbial mud, adding to the bad reputation the Drake already has within the Federation. But the Captain and Commander Arhat put me in this position to help the Klingons with their ongoing internal issues, and I intend to do just that. I have instructed Helm to follow behind the IKS Qel'Thoq. We shall see what Gowry has in store for us. And as I sit here in the captain's seat, I cannot help but think of Captain Tarsh. Mavrin was a good man. I do wish I could put that mystery to rest. Despite my hesitations with the Klingons in this whole affair, there is one thing I will not allow, and that is seeing another captain of the Drake die before their time.
Okay, so we come back from part one of our episode, The Mending, and the Drake. And Gowry's IKS Qel'Thoq was traveling to a dense nebula to launch a dangerous strike on a secret weapons facility within the nebula that is producing planet killer devices capable of destroying an entire world. The mission is to rescue imprisoned Klingons on the facility and destroy the facility once they are rescued. But obviously, it's not going to be just as easy as that. On the Qel'Thoq, when we pulled away, Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat got word that they are going to meet with a third ship, and that was the IKS Qel'Thoq, which is Captain Dagore's vessel. For a quick flashback of who Dagore is the Klingon captain that the Drake encountered in the episode The Cleaving, where they were trying to sneakily get Kate to join the Klingon Empire rather than the Federation. So that's kind of where you guys have last connected with Dagore. So, from all the intel that was gathered during the events of Captain Knightley's and Sova's mission entitled The Facility, they were able to confirm that this facility does indeed exist and that it is inside an active nebula. So, the nebula will interfere with long range communications and sensors. There are no reliable charts to navigate the nebula, and there were hostile Klingon patrols within the nebula that are protecting the facility. So we reach the edge of the nebula, and as the IKS Qel'Thoq reaches the edge, and the Drake slowly behind, on sensors appears the IKS Qel'Thoq. Gowry has them open hailing frequencies, and he says, Captain, it is good to see you again. We are soon to infiltrate the nebula and begin our run against Gamrak and his people. I have requested the aid of a Federation ship known as the Drake, and he just about goes to continue, and then Dagore cuts him off, and he says, The Drake?
Hmm.
Yes, of course. The Drake, have you heard of it? And Dagore and him go back and forth about basically everything that happened in the cleaving.
Naturally.
The Drake is not tied in, but you, Captain, and you, Commander, are on the bridge, like hearing what's happening.
So
Yes.
I would just walk over next to Gowry
Okay.
so that he can see me and just say, like, we meet again, Dagore.
It seems you can't stay away from Klingons.
Or perhaps the other way around.
If Gowry is reaching out to the Federation for help, it must be much more serious than I could possibly imagine. I will come to your location and we will discuss a plan. And Gowry works out this. They go back and forth for a little bit, and then they close comms, and Gowry has the two of you go to his ready room.
Okay.
And so then you guys go in, the door closes, and he says, Captain, Commander, I did not realize you knew of Dagor.
We crossed paths before.
Hmm.
We met at the Cathian homeworld, where each of us was trying to get the Cathians to join our side.
The interesting thing is I heard that there was something talked about, a Federation ship. I should have known it was the Drake. That makes sense. Dagor is not a easy man to work with. I didn't think this would be more challenging than it already is. I do not look forward to our meeting.
You don't got to worry about us, Gowry.
I only worry about the ones who have blades in their pockets, Captain. So just a few minutes go by. There's a ring at the door. Gowry tells him to enter, and in walks Dagor. Dagor kind of like he sort of like he looks at you, Captain, for like a half second, but then he looks at Commander Arhat and he kind of sneers at Arhat. He doesn't say anything. He just kind of gives you like kind of a dirty look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's new, right?
Kind of expected.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew, cut back to you. Since you have the ability to basically now utilize like Federation technology on scanning the nebula, and then you can share that with the other two ships.
Okay.
So if you want to roll a science reason difficulty 2, you can help uncover energy readings that you're getting on sensors to point out the natural, like basically find stuff within the nebula that you can pinpoint. Because you're basically using scans from the shuttle from your mission, scans from the Qel'Thoq, and now scans from the Drake, and you're using like all of that information and then like extrapolating general locations.
Okay. I am going to use my focus radioactivity.
Yep.
And I need 2 successes, which I got.
Okay. So you end up sending this information over to the Qel'Thoq, and then the Qel'Thoq has it. They put it into their sensors, and then they make an actual, like, really good scan. So obviously, the color background is the nebula. The smaller markings are satellite, like defense satellites that you, Sova, interacted with before you docked with the facility. Okay, that's the smaller markings. The bigger Klingon markings are Klingon ships within the nebula, and then the silhouette in the middle is the facility. There are pockets of high particle zones which have a chance of weakening the hull plating of the Drake if you enter it. What that just means is if you're in a high particle zone and you get attacked, like something shoots at your plating, it'll be weakened in those areas. So stuff can damage the ship more easily in those areas. So we cut back to the Gore and everybody in the ready room, and he says, "So what is the plan, Captain? What do you intend to do here?" And so Gowry goes on to explain that he wants to go into the nebula and take the Qel'Thoq right to the facility. He wants to then unload an infiltration team headed by Arhat and Captain Knightley. Gowry's going to stay on the Qel'Thoq and oversee everything and make sure prisoners get to the ship safely. And then he's asking that the Octal and the Drake enter into the nebula as well and contend with any vessels that try to interfere with that being accomplished. And then once all of the prisoners are released from the facility and they're safely on the Qel'Thoq, he then wants all three vessels to focus fire on the facility and destroy the facility.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Blow it up.
So Dagor says, "So I am working with the humans. You trust them to watch my back as I destroy fellow Klingons?" Gowry and him go back and forth. They're kind of yelling at each other for a little bit.
I'd like to point out that our hat is not human.
He says, it's no different. You all work for that Federation. Doesn't matter what you are.
Well, the Federation isn't the one that's building a planet killer.
That you know of.
Fair.
Okay, so Dagor basically doesn't really want to really work. He wants to go on to the facility. And him and Gowry aren't really making any headway. So if either one of you, it's either Presence Command, difficulty 2, or it can be Presence Security, difficulty 3, to convince Dagor to follow Gowry's plan.
I say my presence command is actually pretty good.
Okay. I have a 14 in both, so if you
I have a 14 in with command, and I have a 15 with security. I would rather go difficulty 2. If you want to roll, you can roll. Otherwise, I will roll.
I think you should roll with your 15.
The 15 is a difficulty of 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you
So
whatever.
we both have a 14. It doesn't matter really who rolls.
Okay. I think you should roll in.
Yeah, just so you know, this is a soul, like nobody can assist. Because it's basically one of you speaking up and trying to take control of the scene.
Yep. I think I'm going to use the Metal Star Cross.
Oh, okay.
So my range is 4. I can double it to 8.
Dang.
Perfect.
I have
Oh no.
2 successes each.
Nice.
Wow.
So I
So
rolled an 8 and a 6.
Nice.
So Dagor is doing whatever we tell him he's doing.
Yeah. So there's this moment, there's this kind of pause in the conversation between the two of them. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Heated Klingons as always. Neither one of them is seeing the other one's side. They're getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And then there's this kind of lull in the shouting. And our hat just kind of doesn't even really take a step forward. He just, from the other side of the ready room, just indicates hey, we're in this room. We're listening to Gowry. What do you think's happening here? We're here to do what he wants. And he's the one who sees this vision. You're not bringing anything to the table. Let's get on the same page here. So Dagor, I mean, because of being already beaten down by the Drake crew once and having his honor be challenged previously on the planet Kate, he has no choice but to save face and just kind of begrudgingly agree to follow Gowry's plan. Basically, the plan is as soon as Dagor gets back to his ship, everyone is going to enter the nebula. So is there anything before he gets to his ship anything that anybody wants to do before that happens?
No.
No? Okay. So Dagor returns to his ship, and you guys hit the nebula. I think, Andrew, did we put 2 extra momentum into the pot from Mike's roll?
Oh,
Did we do that?
okay. I'll do that now.
And then you could do your favorite thing is now take 1 away.
Mhm.
With now new scene.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
Okay, so the three ships begin to enter the nebula, the Qel'Thoq ahead, and the Octal and the Drake pretty close to each other, side by side. As soon as 75-80% of the Drake and the Qel'Thoq are, and the Octal, as all three ships enter the nebula, long range sensors drop out immediately. You get reports that the transporters will only work within line of sight. They've been brought to an incredibly short distance, and you already made known of the high particle zones that will affect the hull plating. So Eric, we'll have you roll, since we'll just have you roll for the ship. With two d20s, you're going to try to just get a 12. Because you're not using your numbers, so you just got to get a 12 with your two d20s. And then Andrew, you can assist him with command presence. It's a difficulty 2, and what you're trying to do is navigate through the nebula and past patrols and all these high particle zones. It's a work track of 5. It's an extended task. Work track of 5, difficulty 2. And a complication range of 17 to 20.
I rolled a 15 and a 16.
Okay, so 0 from you. What about you? What? You got 1. Okay. All right, let me roll my thing. Okay, you guys come across a like a defense buoy. You can either shoot at it, or you can try to like hack it.
What's the difficulty of either?
Shooting it is just a straightforward attack. That would be a 2 for phase cannon, and that would be a 3 for photonic torpedoes.
And what would be the difficulty to escape?
To hack it?
Or hack it, yeah.
To hack is probably difficulty 3.
Why don't we, because I think attacking would be a easier.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah. Can I assist with sensors?
No, I'm not going to let that because of the nebula. You can't assist with sensors. So to attack, it would be security control, and then the ship's weapons and security.
So assist with an 8. You know what? We're gonna get spicy.
Okay.
I'm gonna use did the reading.
Okay.
I read up on this, and I'm going to take the lead on this. And I'm gonna use my science skill instead of my security.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Does Eric want to roll for the ship? All right. I'm gonna buy an extra dice too, just to be safe.
I rolled a 12.
All right. I got 3 successes.
Okay, great. Okay, so one momentum back.
Yep.
So as the Drake is trying to make its first correction away from these buoys, it's just too close. They've navigated too close, and so what you see is this thing, they just go they just blow up the buoy and just keep going. Now the only thing is It may have alerted people to your presence. Okay, back to rolling for the the extended task. So Eric, you'll roll again a 12, and then Andrew, you can assist with science, insight, and then you, John, can roll for command presence.
Can I use any focuses or?
Yeah, you can have radiation, yeah, or
Okay.
whatever, radioactivity or whatever.
Thank you.
I rolled a 20.
Excellent.
Oh,
You roll a 20 and a what?
Oh, I was supposed to roll 2?
Yeah,
Oh, I was
that's okay.
4.
Oh,
Okay, nice.
does the ship have a focus?
Oh, that's Milek. He's rolling for Milek.
Oh,
mm,
does Milik have a focus? That
Yes, he does. So that's 2 successes from him
with a complication.
with a complication.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so
I
3
got 2.
successes. Anything from you, Andrew? Okay, so 5 successes. Okay, so that's 2. And then what is your command number, John?
My command number is a 2.
Okay, we'll roll again.
What are we doing with the complication?
Something is moving your direction.
Oh boy, how much momentum do we get to?
3 momentum.
Okay, so we're now full. Right.
Have
So
him
our
roll
go-
3 dice.
Roll 3. Okay.
And then you, John, can roll again command presence.
Okay. Here. 5, 10, and 19.
Wow, 5. So 5, 10. Okay, 19 is not good. Okay, and then what's the other ones? 1 from Andrew, 1 from John. Okay.
Because we can't bank the momentum, can we use it to negate the complication?
Yeah, so what you see is 2 ships moving to your location. If you spend 2 momentum, you can negate that complication.
We'd only be able to bank 1, so why not just use the 2 and negate it?
sounds good.
Okay. All right, 1 more on the track. It's difficulty 1 now, so
I think Eric we should buy another dice for Eric.
okay.
Okay. 1, 12, and 18.
Okay, so 1, 12, and then 18.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 5 successes and another complication.
Wah, wah.
So do you guys want to spend that 2 momentum to get that complication to go away?
I think so.
Okay. So as you are behind the Qel'Thoq and alongside the Octal, as you're going through, the sensors pick up an enemy ship from the earlier detection and another ship that is at the facility ahead. Now everything is either line of sight or very close to the ship. That's the length of sensors. You are not seeing anything very far away. It's all within close proximity to each other. But the facility is just starting to come into sensor range. So Gowrie comes up, he hails the Drake and the Octal, and you guys are on almost like a Zoom call like this. You're on basically the Drake, when they look at the screen, they see Gowrie and Dagor, and when Gowrie is looking at the screen, he sees Jahan and Dagor. And he tells the Drake and Dagor to handle these 2 vessels. He's going to navigate around and try to lose the one at the facility, and then he's going to dock at the facility. He closes comms and he drops. You literally watch him on the view screen just completely pull into the nebula clouds, and he disappears. Which vessel do you guys want to work together now? So you, Jahan, and Sova, you and Sova are the acting officers on the ship. You have one that's coming to on the flank of you. It's coming from like the left-hand side of the ship, and then you have one that's like straight ahead. One is coming right towards your ship. The other one is just stationed. It's not moving.
Perhaps we deal with the more imminent threat first.
We could also hide and
Maybe we need to maneuver to get out of range of the one ship so that
Okay.
we're not getting attacked on two fronts.
Okay.
If one is actively pursuing us, I feel
Yes.
like if we try to maneuver, it's just going to follow us. But if we can get it out of range of the ship that's just hanging out,
I see. Okay. What directions do you want to give to the gore?
I mean, if we can lead that one away a little bit before he makes his attack, then we can do the pincer.
Well, Eric will keep on rolling that con control. He's going to roll a 12, 2d20, 12 or less. That's what you're looking for. You've told the gore to follow suit, to pull away, to drag this oncoming ship away from the sitting ship and the facility.
4 and 18.
4 and 18. Okay, so it was like a difficulty 2 that you want to assist John with a command
I'd love
presence.
to do that. Just the one?
Just one, yeah.
No dice.
So me like banks hard with the Drake to pull it away. He pulls like away from the ship and everything, and Dagor follows suit. And you can watch. It's hazy. You can kind of see it on sensors, but you can kind of see that the ship that was coming, it doesn't quite follow you, but it definitely comes to like your last maybe 30 seconds position ago. Like it comes to where you kind of last were 10 to 15 seconds ago. But it doesn't follow you into like it doesn't follow your path. The way to like think about it is the Drake banked away and then he banked with you.
I see.
So
I see.
now this ship is here and you guys are like over here now. So you're behind this new ship. If you turn
All right.
around, if you like turned back around, you would be coming behind this other ship.
All right, then that's, yeah. We'll
Okay.
do that.
Okay, who do you want to take punch first? Do you want it to punch first or you want them to punch first?
Tagore can he's much more thirsty for battle. He can
Sure, yeah. I mean you both are gonna punch, it's just a matter of playing
someone's
damage system, that's all.
got it.
Nice. Okay, so he succeeds with shooting his disruptors. Now I roll this. 3. So you watch as the gore, he pulls ahead just a little bit ahead of the Drake and he open fires and you see him shooting at the rear of this vessel. Okay, 12 minus 5 is 7. That is not 50%. So now it is your guys' turn. So he shoots at the back. You see the shields, the ship of it take damage. Shields get weakened, but nothing really happens. Nothing critical blows up or anything. So now you guys can go, and now you can roll control security, assisted by weapons security.
Okay, I got a pretty high control, so I'll roll for that.
Okay. Difficulty 2. Well, I guess you get to pick if you want to use your phase cannons or you want to use your photonic torpedoes. One is a difficulty 2, one is a difficulty 3.
One says versatile, 1.
Which ends up meaning that if you're successful with that attack, you'll gain 1 bonus momentum.
I see.
That's what versatile 1 means.
Okay.
And then I think the other one is a high yield, and if you inflict 1 or more breaches to a system, you'll get an additional breach with that attack.
Okay. So I'll use a momentum, I'll buy a dice.
Okay.
A die. And we'll go I say we go torpedoes. Really
Okay.
hammer it in there.
Yep, so that's difficulty 3 for a
Yeah.
torpedo.
We are not here to make friends, so
That's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
And I would like to say that I do have something to prove as a value.
Yeah, something to prove is fine. Yeah, absolutely. So
Love
that'll
it.
give you an instant. That'll give you a third die that you don't have to roll. That's already marked at a 1, which will give you 2 successes.
Okay. Good, good. All right, so I'll still we had full momentum anyway, right? From before.
I'm pretty sure.
We always, yeah, seems like we always do. So I'll roll my 3. I don't know who's rolling to assist.
I think Adri has the numbers, so we can have Adri roll.
It's probably overkill at this point because I got 3 successes.
Okay.
and I got 1 success.
We've knocked it out of the ballpark, as they say.
Sure did.
So you shoot with a photonic torpedo, and you watch it, and it goes poof, and it hits the shields, and you don't note any damage to the ship.
Boo.
Now it's his turn. Now the Klingon vessel that you've been firing at is going to shoot back.
So this is a real dumb question, I guess, but if we're shooting the back of it, it doesn't matter. They're shooting. They can shoot any direction.
You know what? It's a great. No. It's not a dumb question. That's a good
Okay.
point. I'll let you guys do another full round of attacking him as he faces forward, because Klingon ships are kind of notoriously bad for shooting in reverse.
They
So
don't have aft torpedoes or whatever?
they're not known. Not this vessel. They're not really known to be
Nice.
proficient. So that's a good point. You make an excellent argument. I will
Nice
have
work.
the Gore go again. Nice. 2 successes from De Gore. Roll for that. 3 successes from De Gore. So you guys will get a momentum because he's on your team. Okay, now it's your turn to go again. You can see that the attack are weakening the shields, but he still has shields up.
Okay.
I did not succeed.
Unfortunate because I have 1 success.
So you guys fire at the ship, but unfortunately, due to the nebula, you guys aren't able to make a clean hit, and you kind of just graze over the other thing. Oh, you know what? I just realized too, though. But you had from that other thing. How many? So previous, you rolled 2 successes. Is that what you did, John? Previously, the previous attack.
3. I rolled 3.
3, not counting the value.
Correct.
So that was 5 successes plus hers, which was you had a 1 success, right, Adri?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I did get 1 success. Yeah.
So that's 6 successes, which would have been 3 momentum.
Hmm.
And then you didn't use another one, and then you got the Gores. So whatever that. So technically,
We're full now.
you're full now. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I realized that you used that value, so you should have gotten more momentum.
Oh.
So now the ship is going to turn, and he's going to attack the other vessel. 2 successes. I'll spend a threat. Spend 1 threat. And he's going to hit him for 6. Which will make it a 3. So he opens fires on the Gore ship. A pretty decent volley of disruptor fire. And you watch the Gore ship just kind of take it on the shields. And then he opens fires on that ship. 3 successes. And he fires again. Do you guys want him? Do you want to give him a momentum to increase his damage? Right now he does 5. You can spend a momentum to give him 6.
We're at
Oh, yeah,
full.
No.
Right? Are we at full
Yeah,
capacity?
we're at full.
Yeah. Let's use it.
Spend them if you got them.
That's all right.
Okay, awesome. All right, so first attack. 9 sensors. Oh, nice. So with that, you watch as the Dagor shoots at the ship again, and your panel lights up on the Drake that it seems like the sensors on this enemy vessel have gone down, and that there has been minor damage done to the hull, causing, you would assume, either casualties or structure damage to the vessel. Shields are still up, but it was a significant blow to the ship. So now you guys can go.
All right. I'll use momentum to buy a die.
Seems like shields are just a hair under 50% for them.
Two successes.
I got
That's
one too.
3 successes. So that is 2 momentum because you generate bonus momentum.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, let's have I'll let you guys do it. Somebody can roll just a single d20 and we'll see what system got hit.
All right. 12.
12. Okay.
Yes.
More structure damage. You do more structure damage to it. And after you hit with this, it seems like they are really having a hard time. And they likely are too focused on fixing problems. So they're not going to attack back this cycle. So it will go back to Dagor.
Can't imagine Tagore is going to stop attacking until that ship is smithereens.
Yeah.
So guess we'll follow through.
Okay, 2 successes from him. 1 from the ship, so that's 3 successes. Sensors again. It is now up to you guys. You guys have the ship in your hands. Its shields are practically down. They're down to probably like 10%. And they are clearly focusing on trying to get the ship up and running again.
I think we'll probably just finish off
Okay.
them shields.
All right, yeah. So that is another control security and then weapon security from the
All right.
ship.
And I'll use momentum since we're overflowing.
Yep.
Momentum.
Ooh. Only 1 success. A dangerous 19 over here.
Did you get anything, Adrian? Yeah. No.
Mm.
So you guys again take a shot. You miss it. And well, let me see if I can do it.
Ramming speed.
Let's see if I can do it. 2 fails. 1 success. Okay. So you see the ship begin to like engage its engines, but it does not move anywhere. And it goes back to the gore. You get the impression what Captain Jahan was anticipating didn't happen. Ramming speed. Okay, 2 successes from Dagor. Just 2 successes. And then the ship. Oh, okay. Do this, but 12. More structure damage. And yes, they take major hit. So you watch as Dagor open fires of another volley of disruptors onto the Klingon vessel, and you watch the Klingon vessel explode in the nebula. And the ship cracks and explodes and all the fun space cool things, but it slowly starts to drift away as the nebula is constantly rotating. Okay. Now we'll cut to Gowrie and the gang. So Gowrie swoops down. He comes up underneath the facility, and he begins to dock at the facility. he turns to you two on the bridge and he's like, "Your Lieutenant Commander Sova provided schematics of the facility. I believe if you follow this path, it will take you directly to the prison. Get as many of them as you can and bring them back here. My men will be here stationed outside the doors, and you will take as many as you would like. We will not let these Klingons die an honorless death."
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay. So how many of his men do you want? I think there's 20 on the ship, so he's giving you like 10 plus.
We don't have any idea even how much, like any kind of estimate. Like
You don't know how
Less
many
than five?
prisoners. You don't know how many prisoners there are, but there are several hundred Klingons on the facility.
okay, all right. So let me take 15.
Okay. Do you want them to all just follow you and you go, or do you want to like do anything specific with them?
Our hat is probably better at like tactical stuff like this, but like
The question is how many different areas are we hitting? Because
Right.
if we're hitting 2 or 3 areas, it would be good to split up into a few different groups.
okay, that's what I was thinking too. Like split up into fives, like have them, and then you and I just go with one of them or whatever. We split up too.
But what I would do is like 13 Klingons. That way it's 5, 5, and 5.
Okay, sounds good.
So what it is where you're docked, where he has docked the Qel'Thoq. It's basically you're going to enter a corridor, and then you're going to have like a holding zone for like prisoners, and then you'll enter the actual like prison cell block, and that's it. Like it's a pretty direct shot. He's like Gowrie has like docked at where they would like deposit prisoners. So you're not really like wandering through the facility too much.
Okay,
So you're gonna have a set of 4. He's gonna have a set of 4. What are the
Right.
other 5 doing?
I honestly think once we start releasing prisoners, those 5 should be directing the prisoners on where
Okay.
to go.
I'm like protecting them from oncoming fire or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
love it.
They'll be taking up they'll be in the rear protecting anything from coming in behind us and direct once we release a bunch of the prisoners, they can direct the prisoners where to go.
Okay. So you're all at the docking door. It's the 2 of you ahead and 13 Klingons behind you, and they're all ready to go. They're all fully stocked. And the Klingon closest to you, Arhat, you feel him like pressing lightly on your back, and he says, "A blade. I've heard of these Andorian blades before. Are you prepared to get it dirty?" Ha ha ha.
It never gets dirty. It's always a clean cut.
Dang.
And they all start laughing, and they're all shoving each other like in the corridor, and they're laughing. And so the doors open, and it's a small hallway, and then it goes right into this opening area. There are a couple you can see over by like the entrance of where the prison block would be. You can see there are like 3 or 4 Klingons over there, but that's kind of all you see as you immediately open the door. Your orders, Captain, your orders.
Wow. Okay. Let's just open fire.
Okay. So you tell them to open fire,
Yep.
and they just, as polite as a Klingon can be polite, they all shove past you.
Yeah, we all just kind of
Yeah.
charge in, line
They
up,
just
and
Immediately
have
start
it.
opening fire.
Are they
And
using phaser guns or batless?
they're using hand weapons and disruptors. And immediately, one group just immediately takes out an officer. Just like immediately, one officer goes down. And the other 2 officers retreat to cover. And the other officer is now he's returning fire back to this oncoming horde of Klingons.
Okay.
What would the 2 of you like to do while this is happening?
I'm gonna
Yes.
shoot them.
Okay.
Let me take a quick look on what I want to do
Okay.
because I do have quick to action. We can attack twice before they attack once.
You're constantly watching. Your control security attack would be a difficulty 1.
Yep. And I have 2 successes.
Excellent. So 1 momentum. And then what's your security?
My security is 5.
Okay. So you fire, and he immediately collapses. All right. Control security.
1 success.
So you shoot, and you miss any Klingons. But Mike has quick to action, so Mike can go again.
I have 2 successes.
Nice. Okay. So you pick another one. Boom. Take him right out. Now it's back to you, Captain.
Do I have a bat'leth?
No. Not unless you asked for one.
After everything is said and done, you can see what the 4 Klingons had.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I get to go roll again, you're saying?
Yep.
Okay. 2 successes.
Nice. So you take a shot at the last one, and he goes down, and you hear all the Klingons are like, yeah! They're all like really happy. And you hear more of them saying, your orders, Captain! And they're all
Oh my God.
they are very pleased to keep going.
I just say keep getting rid of them.
And they gesture like towards the cells or like towards this other corridor.
So let's do 2 to the corridor.
And one to the
And that
cells.
group of 5 that we talked about will stay back and deal with the prisoners.
Okay. What are you two going to do?
Are there more prisoners down there? Do we know, or we don't know yet?
That corridor should just lead to more of the facility.
So we don't need to go down the corridor.
Right, we were just focused on getting these people. I don't think it's necessary that we like keep heading in down the corridor and like possibly killing some of our people. Like when we're just gonna blow it up with our ships, right?
Okay, so you don't want the 2 teams to go towards the corridor?
I know they want to. I know they're real
they're
hungry for it.
They're very pleased to go.
I know.
Well, in general, I think one group should be guarding the corridor to make sure we don't have reinforcements coming through, and everyone else charge into the prison area because there might be more guards in the prison area.
All right. I love it. Let's do it.
All right. So as those 2 teams are rounding into the prison block. Wow. Okay. You immediately hear disruptor fire, and you see 4 officers of your side go down from disruptor fire from within the prison block.
Yikes. Are they dead or are they just down?
They seem like they're dead.
Am I still able to use my quick to action here?
Yes. If you enter combat, yes, you can use it.
Because we had technically finished the combat and then came into the new section.
But they were ahead of you. Those guys were ahead of you. So
yes.
So I know you said they seem dead. That doesn't I need a firm yes or no.
Well, there's not a whole lot we can do about them at the moment because we're taking fire, so we need to fight back and then try and deal with them.
You're right.
Well, you can roll. You can roll a medical daring difficulty 2, but you're going to be out of the combat. It's just going to be on Mike.
Yeah, all right. If they're dead, they died in glory and they're happy. My human sensibilities are getting to me.
So now I'm going to roll for the 6 remaining, and then it'll go to your guys' turn.
Okay.
So you hear they open fire, and you hear 2 Klingons on the inside yell out. You hear them like in pain. So as you guys progress closer to the opening, you can see that there are 10 Klingons in this room. 2 are on the ground. There are 10 standing and 2 on the ground. So when you look in the room, you've come to the doorway. What it is it is on one side of the wall is a set of cells, on the other side of the wall is a set of cells, and then there's a middle thing, and that you assume is more cells. You can't really see it; it's kind of like a wall, but you assume the setup is cells lining the left wall, cells lining the right wall, and cells in the middle. And on each side, there are 4 on one side Klingons, and there are 6 on the other side, like in between the 2 cell blocks. The one that has 4 has 2 down on the ground.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, because there's 6 plus us, that's 8. So I would honestly do 4 and 4 and attack both groups simultaneously.
Okay. Sounds good.
Or we can do me and 3 and you and 3. However you want to do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That sounds good.
Okay.
Which group do you? Let's say, which group do you want to go after? Do you want the 6 or the 4?
I'll do the 4 because you're a little more trained. I think you're a lot more trained in battle than I am. So you?
Yeah, so I'll take the 6.
Okay. So you go ahead, Mike, and roll control security.
Yeah, me and 3 guys are going after the 6.
Yep.
I got oh wow. I got a 2 and a 1.
Oh, yep.
2 and a 1. Wow,
And
so
that's why he
successes.
goes after the 6.
So that's a momentum.
Yep.
Okay.
We are currently full up, so we can't bank anymore.
All right, so let me roll this. So one of the other Klingons with you, he shoots and he takes care of a Klingon. The 2 drop, so that leaves 4 on your side now, Mike. I will let you spend that extra momentum that you can't bank to have one of the other Klingons who didn't succeed try again.
Okay.
Okay. No, he doesn't succeed. So now we go to Adri's side.
Okay.
Now you're going to roll control security. Difficulty 2.
I got 2.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I got my security number, but I did not.
Okay.
But I still got 2.
So you drop 1, and one of the Klingons with you drops another. So now it's 2 on your side. Now we go back to Mike.
Okay.
Yep.
A 1 and a 13. I have 3 successes again.
Wow, okay. So you drop another one. Now the guys with you fire. They don't drop anybody. But you got 3 successes, so you can pick one to re-roll.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll have whoever's right next to me try again.
Nope, he doesn't succeed.
Okay.
And now, Adri, it's your turn.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay. Okay, that side is completely wiped out.
Yay.
So I think only on your side, Mike, was 3 left. So now these 3 are going to roll on your team. And you can either spend 2 momentum and you take the damage, or one of your Klingon officers will go.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the stress to me.
Yeah, I won't incapacitate you. Just you just end up taking the stress.
Right.
So you are going to take 2 stress.
2 stress? Okay.
Yeah. You can go ahead, Mike. You can roll now.
Let's see if it stays nice to me. Not a 1, but 2 successes.
Nice.
Gave me a 3 this time.
Okay, so that was 3. So you drop it down. There's 2 left.
Is Adri going to come over and help?
And with that, the Klingons with you drop the other 2.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's no more exchange of fire in this room anymore. You didn't get hit by that disruptor thing. It just kind of, the heat of it kind of like blew past your face, like they almost got you. But
Yep.
so your stress is more mental, that like more like, oh, that was close to my face, than
Mhm.
physically damaging.
Right.
Okay, so now you're in this room and you have access to do what you want in here.
Are they electronic locks?
It seems like it from an exterior looking at it.
I'd walk up to the closest lock just to take a look at it. And I would also bring along some of the Klingons with us to take a look at it because they may know the technology better.
Okay. So you walk over to like a console, and one of the Klingons says to you, "This is the button that will open the cells."
Will it open all the cells at once, or do we have to open them individually?
There are a set of each. Here it says that you can open them individually, by block, or all entirely.
I think we'll do it a block at a time so we can be a little bit more organized.
Very good. Which one would you like to start with, Commander?
Well, since we're all on this side, let's start with this block. Get
Okay.
everybody out, and then we can open the other side and get everybody
Okay.
out.
The one against the wall or the one in the middle?
Let's go with the far wall and then work our way across.
Very good. He presses the button, the cells slide open, and these Klingons, who do not have cranial ridges, but have hair, like longer hair and facial hair, that are in various states of like tethered clothing, come shuffling out, and they see the emblems on of the Klingons, and they say, "Are you are fighting for House Dokai?" They say, "with an Andorian?" And they say, "Yes, we are here to save you. Gallery is rescuing you. House Dokai has come to release you before we destroy this facility." And they say, "We will not see Stovacor today." The Klingons with you turn and say, "What would you like us to do with this first cell of Klingons?"
I tell one of them to take this group. Basically, each group will have one Klingon bringing them to the ship.
Okay. Yep. So you release that side. One Klingon takes them to the ship. You release the middle. Right? Yep.
Yep.
And then one Klingon goes with that. Now on the captain's side, you have another middle side and another far wall side.
What I would do is I would have the other Klingons with me go around to the other side, let everybody know what we're doing, open up the first cell group, and then once they move, open up the last cell group, and then we can all get out of here.
Okay.
And then can we say, while Arhat is taking charge of getting the prisoners back, that I want to grab a bat'leth that from a fallen soldier
Okay.
for fun,
If there's any there.
if there's any there. And
Yeah,
then I would
they have
like to
weapons,
just,
yeah.
huh?
They have weapons. Yep, they have
All
batons.
right, so I would like to take one of those. And then I
Okay.
would like to just go back to the place where our Klingons fell and just go look, check for a pulse quickly.
Okay, yep, that's medical insight difficulty 2.
Oh dear. That's really bad. Okay,
I say,
not a single success.
It just seems like when you go over to them that they're injured. They don't seem to be breathing, so it doesn't seem like they're alive.
Okay. All right. Well, then they have entered Stovacor.
So you open another set of cells, and that last officer goes, and then now you don't have any officers with you, Mike, because you had your 3.
yep.
So that other last wall is open, and an officer goes. So now it's the 2 of you and 2 Klingon officers, and the cell block is completely empty.
They're all empty.
Yep, there's nobody in there.
All right, our job is done. We can go back.
Okay.
We need to go gather up all the Klingons and quickly move to the ship.
Okay. So you guys progress out of the cell block. What do you what do you say to the 5 by the other door?
I would say we are all done here. We can go and destroy this
Okay.
place.
They say, "Very good, Commander," and they start to go. They go towards the ship. So the 5 go through the gap through the doorway to the corridor that's going to get back onto the Qel'Thoq. And as the you last 4 are progressing towards that door, let's have you, Mike, roll security insight difficulty 3.
Okay, I'm gonna buy a dice to give myself a better chance. I got 3.
Okay. So as you are very close to entering this door, you hear from behind you from the corridor door voice say, "Where do you think you're going?" And you turn around and you see in the other doorway a very tall Klingon. He looks very different than the normal Klingons you have seen. He's almost like deformed. He has no hair, but he has like deep, deep cranial ridges that go like all the way to the back of his head. And he's very dark in appearance. He's like a purpley kind of brown color. And his face is like a little more like pushed forward, almost kind of like, I don't say like a bird, but definitely more angular than a normal looking Klingon. And he has no facial hair. And his armor is like incredibly ornate. He's very, very ornate looking.
Lovely.
Do we just shoot him?
It's up to you.
Part of it depends on how close he is to me.
He's probably 25 yards away from you.
So a decent distance.
The 4 of you are literally at like the threshold to go into the corridor.
Okay.
I think we should just do quick to action and attack him
Okay.
because we'll be in trouble if we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I
He's either
agree.
going to attack us or the entire facility is going to attack us.
Right.
That's my feeling on the matter. So
Yeah.
I'm going to attack. I have 1 success.
Okay. So you turn to, and you look at him. The 4 of you turn to look at him, and you go to fire your weapon. You miss him. He turns over to the side of the door, and he presses a couple buttons on the thing, and you hear behind you, Arhat, that some sort of energy sound effect, like noise, is behind you.
Nice.
And what you see in front of you, Captain, is a force field.
Oh.
And on the other side of the force field is Arhat.
Oh no.
So I'm trapped with him.
You are trapped with him. And now we cut back to the ship.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. So we're back to the Drake and the other vessel. It is now, because of an explosion, is now turning towards your direction. But you have the upper hand, and Dagor can go first if you'd like, or you can go first. Doesn't matter.
I suppose we can go first on this one.
Okay.
We have full momentum.
-1.
Oh, unacceptable. All right. I'll still use them momentum anyway
Okay.
to buy a die.
We'll have Eric roll Adri. Just tell him what security weapons is, and then he can roll that.
Let's see. Security 2, weapons 6. 8.
So you're trying to get on 1d20, Eric, an 8 or lower.
Oh, 9.
Oh,
Okay.
that's worse than like a 15.
2 successes over here.
So 2 successes. You take a shot at the ship. Do you want him to increase his damage?
Yeah, might as well.
Did he generate a momentum or?
He did not.
So we're spending one of ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't generate a momentum.
You rolled 2 successes, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you did not.
I thought phase cannons gives you.
Oh, yes, because of 1 success. You are correct. So yes, you have bonus momentum now, yes. Okay. He is now facing you. He will now, you attacked first, so he will attack the Drake. 2, that's not good. That's 3 successes. 4 successes. So he is going to attack you guys. Your shields are your structure.
Structure 7.
So you have a 7 for shields.
Mhm.
He is doing 5.
We have 2 left.
Do you have resistance on the ship?
Use 4.
So you're taking 1 damage to your hull plating.
Okay.
We got plenty to spare.
3, 4,
Okay.
5,
Joke's
6.
on them. All the latrines, we've put them in the front of the ship, so if they'll be the first to go.
Yes, of course, naturally. Okay, you guys can go again.
All right. Are we at 4 momentum then?
Yes.
All right. I'm still going to use one to buy a
Okay.
die.
Bullet.
Okay. You again, Eric, can roll 1d20 to try to get an 8 or less.
12.
2 successes over here.
Okay, so you generate another momentum, so that's 1 back. So again, you strike at the structure. Do some structure damage. And you believe that you are causing them to lose power. Now Dagor will go.
Aim at their power.
Dagor rolled a complication.
Okay. Cut 'em loose.
Gore, what are you doing?
So I'll say that the complication is that they lose like targeting of the vessel, and they're not able to successfully make an attack. So now we go back to the other ship. Excellent. He rolled a complication. So we'll say loss of power doesn't allow them, like they don't have enough power to fire back, so we'll go back to the Drake.
Love it. All right. Do a little spendy momentum. Get a die.
You can do it again, Eric.
15.
Oh, only one success.
So you shoot and you miss. Dagor open fires. He misses. Back to the other Klingon ship. He gets 2 successes. He's shooting at the Drake. What's this? Just 2 successes. So I'm gonna spend a threat and he's gonna do 6 damage. So he'll do 2 to your hull.
Oh,
Right on the floor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So your engines are hit. So you're losing power. You're losing power in your engines. Now it's back to you guys.
well. Can't tarnish the reputation of the Drake if the Drake is in pieces.
Very true.
Big brain move.
Yes.
All right, yeah, we'll have to spend another momentum, get a die here.
Okay.
That bring us down to like 2 momentum.
Yep.
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 Right.
You can go ahead, Eric, and you can roll again.
If I want to.
That's all right.
2.
Yay!
Nice.
Excellent. I received 2 successes.
So that's 4 successes, so that's 2 momentum. With that shot, you hit sensors. And you have really hurt them, so after the gore open fire, it will go back to you guys because they are severely dealing with lots of damage. The gore is now shooting. No success from Dagor. So now it's back to you guys.
7.
Nice.
Nice.
I rolled 2 9s, which is a
Hmm.
win in that game that you made us play before, and it's 2 successes.
You're not playing Sirach's Folly, I'm sorry.
There it is.
Wow. He never forgot that.
So that's another
It'll
2,
haunt him.
that's another 2 momentum because of versatile.
All right, we're max again.
Hit them into
Back.
10. Structure, a lot more structure damage. Structure damage gives you a complication. They get a complication.
Whoa.
So their complication is just going to be that they basically just like completely lose power.
It gets real sad after a certain point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're too busy worrying about all the wounded. They can't fight back. Oh, okay.
Oh,
We'll open fire.
boy, do I feel good about myself.
So here's the really funny thing. Dagor, I'm going to say he rolled a complication. So I leave the fate of the ship in your hands.
Ooh.
Sick. If we decide to stop firing on them and like just leave, isn't he gonna stick around after anyway and just blow them to bits?
I can allow you this time to negotiate, like, not to destroy him if you don't want him to.
But we're also blowing up the facility.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so it's up to you. Yeah.
It's all kind of moot. Like taking your shoes off to get into the mud pit. All right.
Yeah. I mean, none of these people are like upstanding citizens, so
You're gonna open fire.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, Eric. Another try to get 8 or less.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, this is very poor. I've rolled a complication
oh no.
and a success.
Oh.
What did Eric roll?
Like,
2 complications and a success.
No.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm gonna say that as the Drake is like slowing down because of engine problems, the nebula is circulating and a high particle zone envelops the Drake. So now whatever you have on your thing, which I think is a 4,
Mm-hmm.
is that what you have left?
We have 4, yeah.
So now you have 2.
We have 2.
And they're gonna shoot at you.
Hey, they're
Yep.
too
Oh,
busy
yeah. Nope.
trying to rehome the orphans that we caused.
Rehome.
So
That's
they're
funny.
gonna open fire with a 6, spending a threat to make it a 6. That brings you down to 0.
So we would take big time damage, wouldn't we?
So your engines are hit. So I'm just gonna say your engines are completely offline. Okay, so you can fire again. You can attack the ship again.
Excellent. I would love to spend a momentum for an extra die.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're gonna roll, Eric.
Ah,
Nope. 19.
so I've made up for it, and I've rolled a delta and 2 other successes.
So it's 3, so that's 4 successes.
We can only bank
Momentum
1.
back. And with that, I just triple check my thing. I'm pretty sure. Yep, with that, you watch the Klingon vessel erupt and explode, and little pieces of it
Wow, see
roll
that right in the
right in there.
nick of time.
We'll use your numbers, John,
Okay.
for Clark. I'm fine with that. It's going to take 6 hours for your engines to be repaired.
Okay.
Can we move it all, or are we dead in the water?
So you can do daring engineering to move, and then if you want, so it's daring engineering difficulty 2, just to move, and then if you want to make that 4 hours, you control
All right.
engineering difficulty
Got
3.
a 6 and a 3. And engineering, I don't know. I guess we don't know what his focuses are.
That's an easy 3 successes because he absolutely has a focus
He's
in
got to have
some sort of.
If he doesn't, he's gonna maybe get a transfer. So
I support this.
So that's 3 successes. So it's an extra momentum.
We
now
were full.
Okay. So if you want to, I'll let you use that extra momentum to do control engineering difficulty 3 to bring down repair on the ship to 4 hours to get the ship back to normal.
yeah, probably should do that.
So you can buy a free die because you're using excess momentum.
Do I get some support?
Yes. Eric was the support guy, so he can roll a 11 or less.
Okay.
$17.
Hmm.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Ooh.
That's the dice.
All right, I got 3.
Very good. So once you're done with this, you can move and you can get out of the nebula, but in order to go to warp or do anything substantial, it's gonna take 4 hours to get the Drake back up and running. But you can maneuver within the nebula.
Is this gonna mess up anything with their goings-ons?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't as long as you don't get into another fight out here in the nebula.
So how do shields come back?
A scene has to go away.
Understood.
Or John has to fix them, right?
Yes.
See.
So you lost 2 during the battle, so you have 4. So control engineering 2, assisted by structure engineering. And if you're successful, you'll get whatever your engineering department is back in shields.
Plus 2 more for if we spend a momentum.
Correct.
Does that take time? Or
So you can do it right now.
All right, then absolutely.
Okay, so that's control engineering difficulty 2, and then I don't know what structure engineering is for the ship, but you can let Eric know.
Structure 7, engineering 3.
I can use a momentum for this as well?
Yes, and you can use this momentum.
So using momentum?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
6.
Hey, there he is.
There it is.
So I rolled 2 successes and a 5, which is my engineering number.
Nice work.
Which is it still Clark?
No, this one
Doing
can
these
be
things?
used. That's fine because you can be doing it up from the bridge.
All right. I mean, I have machine operations, which seems like kind of a catch-all. Oddly enough, I have nothing that's
No, I don't think so.
yeah.
So you got 3 successes, correct?
Yeah.
And then Eric, you got 1. So 4. So 2 back.
So we can only bank 1.
So what is the engineering?
3.
3.
So you can bring it up to 5 by spending that bonus momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So you can either leave it 2 below, 2 below, or do this process again and bring it up to 7.
I mean, is it worth it to get 2 extra ones, you think?
It is if
Andrew?
you feel like you're going to be in immediate combat. But if you don't think so, then it's not a huge deal.
Well, how should he know? You're the one that's gonna tell us.
Yeah, you
if we're gonna
sicko.
be in combat.
I don't know. Yeah, I just gotta tell you what happens.
You're like, oh, yes, you think you're gonna be in combat.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, what does my right hand gentleman think? Are we going to be back in combat soon?
The only thing left is the station.
All right.
So you guys progress towards the facility, slowly working on the Drake as you progress towards it. And then we cut back to our hat in this room with this tall, ornate Klingon. And he says, "Just you and me, Andorian."
Sounds good to me.
And so he pulls out this like very ornate kind of like sickle kind of blade.
Okay. I'll match it with my blade.
Very good. Now you have a split-second decision here, Knightley. What would you like to do?
Are there any panels on the wall that I could like shoot with my laser and like kind of override the system, or
There's definitely panels on the
Nothing.
wall that you could shoot at, yes. If you spend 2 momentum, I can have one of the Klingons next to you tell you what the panels say.
let's do it.
So they see you looking over the panels and trying to like figure out what to do. And one of the Klingons comes over and he says, "This one will depressurize the docking area where we are currently. The other one will bring down the force field."
Sure glad I didn't just start shooting. Yeah, let's hit the one that'll bring down the force field. And I'll tell him, get ready to get this guy.
So he mashes it, and when he pushes it down, the panel changes, and he says, it's locked with some sort of encryption."
I ask him, what if I shoot it?
I do not know.
I don't have any other choice, so I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay, so that's control, security, difficulty 2.
Okay. So I got a 17, which is I need a
Fine.
15.
Okay,
But I also got a delta.
that's fine. Yeah, so you got 2 successes. 17 isn't in a complication range.
Okay.
So you get 2 successes, and as you shoot it, I'm going to spend 2 threat, and what happens is the force fields stay up, but the room goes dark for our hat and the other officer.
That's not very helpful. I succeeded.
You certainly did.
Okay. Sorry, our hat.
Okay. The Klingon will go first. I will give him difficulty 2 against. So you're going to roll daring security yourself.
I'm gonna roll daring security.
Yep.
I got 1 success.
Okay. He gets 2 successes. So you can avoid an injury, Mike, by taking 3 stress.
Okay. I would want to avoid an injury by taking those stress.
Okay. So what's your fitness number, Mike?
9.
So you have 5.
Yeah, I have 5. I have 4 left.
4 left. Okay. Now you can make your. You can attack him any way you want.
I figured he came at me with a blade. I would go at him with a blade.
Okay. So daring security.
We have 4 momentum if you want to use any.
Yeah, I think I'll use 1 momentum.
Mhm.
Just because I have the Ushan knife and
So-
close combat, I'm better at blades than shooting. A 1, a 10, and 11. I have 4 successes.
Wow. So it's what your security number?
Which is 5.
Okay, 5. So 4. Okay. So he comes, he swings. You duck out of the way. You go to slice him. he backs up. No one's gotten hit yet. It's going back and forth a lot. Okay, he's rolling on you, so you can roll daring security, and you can use your Ushan thing if you want. If you fail.
Well, that's if he buys a dice, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to buy a dice?
Yeah, I'll buy a dice. Did I fill the momentum back up?
Because how many momentum did he get from that?
That I did 4, and I needed what?
2.
2?
Yeah.
2. So we have 5 now.
Just so you know, you don't have to spend a momentum to
Mhm.
do that. It says when you make a melee attack or are targeted by a melee attack and buy 1 or more d20s by adding to threat, you may re-roll any number of dice in your dice pool for that task.
I think I will do that.
Okay.
Okay,
Give
yep.
him a threat.
You got it.
I gave you threat.
Yep.
And I got, well, because I have close combat,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 I have is 2. I rolled a 7 and a 17, so I have 3 successes.
Nice. He only had one success.
Did you want to create an opportunity? Maybe make him fall or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're back down to 5.
Yep.
So what would you like to happen to the guy?
He misses and he hits like
Okay.
the wall or something nearby, and it definitely does throw him off.
Yeah, so he takes like a big swing at you when you're coming with your blade. He thinks he can kind of catch you off guard, and he misses and he hits like this higher like railing bank piece, and completely like you watch him break like a part of his blade off, and he is like focused on that for a turn. Let's just say he's off balance. So
Yep.
you could make another attack on the guy.
Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I got 2 successes.
He's not going to contend to that because he doesn't know he can't. Okay, so what you have taken him down. What would you like to happen? He's yours to finish.
I kicked his blade away from him just so he doesn't have it.
Okay.
I think I'd ask him how to turn off the force field before I end this.
Roll a command presence difficulty 3.
I got 2.
So
Nope.
he just snarls at you.
I would initially just try and knock him out because he still could be a valuable
Sure.
person, but at the
Yep.
same time, I want him out of the scenario.
Yep.
He's not telling me anything, so I'm knocking him out.
Yep. So he's down on one knee. He's like trying to get his blade differently held so that he can get you at the other end, but he is pretty exhausted from this. And you ask him that question, he snarls at you, and as he's like looking up and like giving you just a real, like almost like he's gonna spit on you, you just bring your knee up to his face and he just collapses over.
Yep.
So you can roll a security insight difficulty 2.
13. I got 1. Actually, my 1 is a 3, so I'm trying to think if there's any focuses that I could use in this situation.
Okay, well give me your focuses.
I have negotiation, close combat, field medic, computer security protocol, persuasion, and cargo operation.
I will give you the computer thing, and what you see is some sort of like device is like in his pocket.
Okay. So I would take it out and I would take a look at it, see if I can figure out what it is and what it's for.
Okay. So you have it in your hand. It's a long, like, it has Klingon writing on it, and it's like rectangular in shape, and it's like a nice, deep, like amber color. and you feel like it's a security door key.
Yep. So I'd walk over to the panel that I saw him turn on the force field, and I would see if I can use it somehow to turn off the force field.
Very good. Yeah. So pretty much once you immediately put the key in, this panel comes up with these two Klingon symbols. Now you can either do engineering reason difficulty 4, or you can use security presence difficulty 2 to shout to the Klingons on the other side of the force field and describe what the symbols look like to them.
I'll use the security presence
Okay.
because my engineering is not very good. I have a much better chance
Okay.
of asking for help. And I got my 2.
So, yeah. So you see on this panel, one side is, is angles and slashes and cuts and symbols, and they're very similar in Klingon text. You shout out, you describe it the best way that you can, and the one Klingon says, one is put like the entire facility on lockdown, and the other one is turn off the force field.
Uh-huh. So I yell, which is which?
And he says the one on the right is to turn off the force field.
I hit the one to turn off the force field.
And you poke it, and it pulses on the screen, and you hear and see the force field around the room turn off.
Good. I didn't want to say, I just hit a button.
Right. So you now, Captain, see Arhat. He's on the other side of the room. The force field has come down. He's been shouting and talking to the Klingons next to you. And then right as you're contemplating what to do, you hear Gowry say to the officers next to you, like, what's happening?
Okay. So I'd say to him, like, to the officers, tell them we're coming.
Okay.
And I would go over to Mike, or excuse me, to Arhat,
Okay.
and I'd grab that guy by his collar and like motion to Arhat to like help me because I'm probably not strong enough to do it by myself, and drag him with us.
Oh.
Yeah.
You bringing him with you?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So roll me a fitness.
Oh no, not fitness. Don't make me roll
Fitness
fitness.
daring difficulty 2 for both of you.
Fitness daring?
Oh, sorry.
See, that's the same section.
That's the same thing. Fitness security.
I actually got 2 successes on that one.
2 successes.
Nice.
So
We're real irate.
one. So one of you Captain, come up behind the Klingon and you scoop him up by his armpits, and Arhat comes to like the legs and ankles and scoops him up, and you guys are moving out the door with him.
Oh, you're being very nice. I was just grabbing him by this part and just dragging him behind us.
Oh, I thought Arhat was helping you.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna help. He's gotta pick him up in some way, right?
We both are gonna grab his collar.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
One on one side, one on the other, and just grab them and drag them.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you grab him by the collar and you drag him, and his arms are slamming into the door thresholds.
Yeah. Hey, he could have just let us go. He didn't have to do this.
Then you scoop him up onto the thing, and as you bring him into like the corridor to get onto the Gowry ship, the other Klingons are like, "Oh, that's Kavor.
Oh.
That's Gomrak's second in command."
Oh. Oh. Delightful.
We've never seen one of these Klingons up close. And they're like poking him in the face.
I was thinking when we drag him onto the ship, we just let him go and slam him into the floor.
Yeah, for real.
That's fair. So you guys all board the Qel'Thoq. You dump Kavor onto the ground there. Once you die, you get onto the Qel'Thoq. A team of Klingons drag him to the brig, and you guys go to the bridge. And when you come around the corner, Gowry's like, "Very good. I have word that you have captured Kavor."
Yes,
Sure
we
did.
did.
A strike at the heart of Gamrak. He will now be twice as enraged. We may be able to learn something from their ways. They are different, as you can tell.
Yes.
They focus more on a narrow-minded view of what Klingons should be. They're more traditional. They believe they are the only houses that should rule on Kronos.
See. Well, he messed with the wrong crew.
He certainly did, Captain. So they detach from the facility, and they get within communication range with the Gore's ship and the Drake again. So John gets to roll. Control security, difficulty 3, because we're all going to use torpedoes. We're all going to blow up the facility.
Ooh.
I use momentum. I buy die.
William.
Yes, you can. Yes, yeah.
Excellent to hear. 2 successes here.
The ship is an 8. Who wants to roll for the ship? Does Eric want to do it?
You do it. 120, right?
Yep.
Yes. But don't roll 20.
I got a 6.
Excellent.
So the Drake fires a photonic torpedo. The Qel'Thoq fires a torpedo, and the Octal fires, and 2 of them hit. Boom, boom, and you can watch as the facility is starting to break apart, but it's not quite falling apart yet. The Gore's torpedo misses and goes by.
Ramming speed.
Yeah.
So would the Drake like the final shot, or would you like Gowry to have the final shot?
I feel like the honor should be Gowry's. This is his mission.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give it to Gowry.
He cares about that more than we do.
Okay, 2 for that. And 2 for that. Okay, yep. So Gowry open fires, and you watch the facility take another hit, and just as it's like rotating, it's pulling all apart. And you're watching multiple systems and things erupt. And let's have Sova roll a control science difficulty 2.
Want to buy a dice?
You see a blip on your sensors.
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so 2 momentum back. And what you see on your sensor panel, Sova, is that the last torpedo volley went deeper into the facility because it was already cracking open. And you're getting similar readings to what you saw on Aurolus Prime, which was like radiation is building up as if it maybe hit the facility, like the weapon facility end of the, like, it hit like the weapons
Oh,
of the
yes.
planet killer weapon, like facility end of it.
Because the station's blowing up, right?
Station is blowing up.
All right. So
Excellent.
I would recommend to Jahan that we need to get out of here.
So
I would tell him the weapons. It would appear the experimental weapons are self-destructing and may cause a larger explosion than expected.
So what you know is that probably 6 to 8 of these things make a nuclear bomb,
Mm-hmm.
and there's more than that likely at the facility. So,
Who's driving this thing?
but Melek's at the helm, so yeah.
And I turn to Melek. I said, Melek, punch it.
Melek certainly punches it. So yeah, the Drake really doesn't have that much of an issue, and it progresses quickly through the nebula with the Octal and Qel'Thoq quickly behind. And just as you guys are breaching like the outer edge of the nebula and getting to like the finer misty parts of it, you Sova sees on his scanner this eruption that like just completely overwhelms the sensors, and you start to watch this phenomena happen in the nebula as if like the nebula is expanding but also like dissipating. So where we wrap up the mending this evening, the three ships hover outside of the nebula, and Gowrie is walking down on like the cargo area where all of the prisoners are. And he is talking to them and helping them to understand that, like, they're going to get them, they're going to take them to a location that they can be transported back to their homes and they'll be well taken care of. And as you're walking down there with him, the two of you, one of the prisoners stops Gowrie and he turns to him and he says, "Did you stop Gamrock?" He says, "No, did not stop Gamrock. We do not know where he currently is at." And they say, "We know that he is headed for another location, and we believe it is another Federation colony. Do you know which area?" And they say towards the Romulan neutral zone. So he turns to you two and he says, "Captain, Commander, are you up for one more adventure?
Why stop now?
We succeeded so well before seeing Federation faces when we landed on another colony. They believed us so much more quickly than they would believe a group of Klingons saying, 'Come on board, we're going to save you.'
True.
We know how much that caused problems with the Noblian colony. So our next mission is to find Gamrock's ship and stop him before he reaches that destination." So he gives you both a moment to contact the Drake and update them on what is currently happening.
Knightley to the Drake.
This would be the Drake.
Jahan, how's it going?
It seems it's going well, Captain. How are things on your end?
Pretty excellent.
Good. When should we expect you back?
That's a good question. Our hat and I are going to stay here for a little while longer and go after Gamrock.
With all due respect, Captain, where does this end? What of the crew? What are we to do in the meantime?
So I'm hoping this ends with getting rid of Gamrock himself so that he can't just like redo this again. I would suggest that you follow along, but going near Romulan space probably isn't an amazing idea in the Federation ship. So perhaps shore leave. Have a nice little vacation. And avoid Admiral Foxwell at all costs.
Yeah, I can't imagine that our reception would be very welcoming
Yeah.
upon return, Captain.
Yeah.
Do you think it wise to continue on as we've been?
When I think about it, it does seem like this is only going to get worse.
It has seemed to escalate at every turn.
It sure does. The thing is like, even if I go back now, I don't imagine I have a job. So I believe in the mission of, saving people from Gamrock's twisted ways.
I agree, Captain, but don't believe we're meant to police the galaxy.
You've given me something to think about. And I'll talk it over with Arhat and see what he thinks and get back to you.
It might be the best course of action, Captain. As much as I've been fulfilled as acting captain, I don't necessarily want the position full time.
Yes. Yes. Well, you've done an excellent job, Commander.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes, you're so welcome. So what if I get Gowry and Arhat in a room and the three of us
Okay.
talk?
Okay. So you close comms with Jahan,
Yeah.
and
Help me out.
you ask for Arhat and Gowry to come to Gowry's ready room where you are, and they both come in.
So after speaking with Commander Jahan, acting captain, back on my ship, I feel that perhaps I've accepted our next mission too quickly without thinking about it. I was lost in the moment, if you will. So I'm wondering what you think about this, Arhat.
Some of the things that we need to figure out is, will this end it? If he's captured, will this end it? How likely is it that he's going to be where the intel says he's going to be? If we do nothing, what will happen?
Yeah, good points. Gowry, do you think that the guy that we have in the brig will give us any solid information if you do your Klingon interrogation?
We can easily make him talk.
I'd feel better going after something that we know to be true than a hunch. But at the same time, it's like, what do I go back to at this point? I mean, even if I go back now, I'm gonna get court-martialed, likely, right? So what's one more off the books mission for me? But for my crew, they don't have the captain. Jahan is doing a great job, but he's not me. So I have to think about them too.
Do you feel that your commander Jahan cannot captain the Drake?
I think he can, but he doesn't seem eager to do so.
I understand. He is third removed from the bridge. I understand his position. He could always lay low until we return you and your commander here to the Drake.
I did suggest shore leave.
The only thing I can tell you, Captain, I understand your position of court-martial, as you say it. But I feel that this is not something I can do alone with my crew. You saw what it was like taking on his vessel before.
Mm-hmm.
We were not able to defeat it single-handedly.
Well, either way, it's only going to be your crew because my ship can't go into Romulan space.
No, I know that, but now what we can do is board his ship and disable him from the inside.
What makes you so confident that just adding 2 people to your crew can do all that? I mean,
my people do not have the same faith that you have in me. My crew is not as eager to follow my instructions. And when they see Federation officers taking my commands, they are more readily willing to accept my decisions. They see that I have power over other captains. They will rally behind you, too, as you would saw yourself, more than they will behind me. That is why I have not led any of the assaults on the ground or on the facility. My men think this is a house versus house issue. It is not.
yeah, it's a lot bigger than that.
Gamrock is annihilating those who are not pure Klingons. You saw what Kavor looks like. That's what they are trying to breed and make. I am trying to stop that.
I'm more concerned about the mass murder of species than, than
I
that.
tend to believe what the prisoner said. They are headed for another Federation colony. There's no doubt in my mind that's where Gomrock is headed. He already did it once.
Perhaps our hat, you should go back to the Drake and take over command.
I really don't feel comfortable with leaving you alone, Captain.
We are now
Yeah.
going to get into much more violent situations. We are now no longer doing preliminary work. We are now getting our hands dirty. And your commander here seems to have no problem with that.
That's true.
There is one stipulation I would like to add to this mission if we decide to take it. We need to find the information showing that our captain was right and he was a real threat. Because I do not want to lose her as the captain.
Yeah.
So Galray says to the commander, if you are asking for me to be present at any hearing or legal proceeding that your captain may face, I will not hide myself. I will be there to help her no matter what is called upon.
And I appreciate that.
As do
But I also want proof. We can have Sova scan the nebula for the readings,
That is fine.
and then we can proceed to take the head of the beast.
Yes.
Am I able to hail?
The Qel'Thoq? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So the bleep comes on, Gallery sees, he says, the Drake is hailing us. I assume it is for you, Captain.
Yeah. Put him through.
So he presses it and then you sit down at the desk.
Jahan, we were just talking about you.
All good things, I hope, Captain.
Of course.
Upon further reflection of our conversation and my feelings toward these recent missions and the defiance that we've all shown to the Federation, I grew up with the Federation. I may have a bit of a bias, and especially with my past failings. My other crew, it seems to have skewed my view on things, and being on the right side of history is what's most important here, and doing the right thing is what we
I
should
agree.
be doing. So I agree with your decision if you choose to continue, Captain.
Well, that does make me feel better.
And so as he's conversating with you, he gets a little notice thing on the side of the monitor in the ready room. He gets a little blip that indicates that he has a message at the computer while you're conversating.
Okay.
I just wanted to relay that to you, Captain.
Well, I appreciate that.
Whatever you decide, I'm on board.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Commander.
So do you open that message there, Jahan?
I open my AOL.
Yes.
Yes.
AOL.
You've got mail. So you click on it and you are getting generic Federation news that just is automatically downloaded to the Drake when the Drake is within Federation comm buoys. And the headline reads that Denoblia has left the Federation.
What?
The article basically states that they feel that the Federation and the Klingons are working together. Between them being targeted during the Earth-Romulan War, and now one of their few colonies they put out there was immediately bombed by the Klingons. They're kind of maybe we don't really work with the Federation.
Even though the Federation saved them from being bombed. from them.
But they feel like by pulling out, other factions won't attack them.
Yeah, that's fair.
If they're neutral,
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
So the mission sounds like a go. Jahan is reluctantly okay with it. Our hat is ready to get his blade dirty again. So you, Jahan, watch as the Qel'Thoq and the Octal like warp away. You guys begin your 4-hour repairs on the ship. And let's say about hour 3 into working on the engines, you, Jahan, are called to the bridge. There is a communication coming from sector space. And Mike can tell you what that is.
you got a distress signal from the Lumen. It is specifically on Federation frequency. And it is asking for a Federation ship to come and help. It's giving very little information. All you're getting is it's by the planet Tam. They were in quarantine. They are no longer in quarantine, but they still need assistance. That's all the information that you have.
All right, and I feel like I would turn to Sova and say, well, we're still Federation, and we still have a mission to accomplish.
Agreed, Commander.
And then
And
I
okay,
say,
yep.
yeah, and we hit warp to wherever it is we're going.
Yeah. You let that hour pass and you
Yeah.
punch warp into the location. And so next time we return in June, the Drake crew will be tackling the mission Trouble with Tam. And we'll have a acting game master that night. It'll be Mike. That'll be Mike's story to conduct.
Nice.
And then in the interim, between the upcoming Drake adventure, we will have an adventure for Captain Knightley and Commander Arhat, and that mission is entitled The Bloodwine Trail.
Ooh, nice work.
So that's
Sounds
where
good.
we end it. Until next time.
Sounds good.
Tomorrow starts with us today. Fly with the Drake, strong and true. Side by side we'll break on through. Bold and brave we light the way. Tomorrow starts with us today. Bold and brave we light the way. Tomorrow starts with us today.